If you've got kids or plan to, then you know how expensive that can be. Diapers, daycare, Paw Patrol cereal, it all adds up. So when I say there's a way to get free money to help pay for college or university later on, yeah, you're gonna wanna hear this. The government is literally offering you free money to help your kids go to school. But most Canadians either have no idea how to get it or think it's too good to be true. Now, if that sounds like you, then don't worry, grab a drink, maybe a little snack, and get comfy, because in the next few minutes, you're going to learn exactly how the RESP works, how much free money you can get, and what happens if your child doesn't even go to college or university. And if you're new here, my name is Alex. I'm a realtor here in Ottawa, Ontario, and a former financial advisor at one of Canada's big banks. See, back when I worked in finance, I noticed how few people actually understand all the registered accounts and tax advantages that the government gives you. Things that can literally change your financial future. My goal when making these videos is simple. It's to make sure that you don't miss out on the money you're entitled to. Because let's be real, the government takes enough already. It's about time you get some of it back. So let's start from the top. What is the RESP? The RESP is one of the most powerful financial tools in Canada for parents or honestly anyone who wants to help a child save for their future. RESP stands for Registered Education Savings Plan. Basically, it's an investment account designed to help you save for a child's post-secondary education. And here's the best part. The government actually rewards you for doing it. You can open one for your child, your grandchild, your nephew, your niece, anyone, even your neighbor or a friend. There's no rule saying that you have to be the parent. And you can open it almost anywhere, a bank, a credit union, or an online investing platform. Now, as for age requirements, you can contribute to the RESP until the beneficiary turns 31. Well, technically until the plan turns 31, but probably won't even reach anywhere near that age anyway. Although the government grants are typically only paid until the year that they turn 17. The beneficiary must be under the age of 21 at the time of opening the account. That gives plenty of time for the child to use the money in the account, even if they take one or multiple years off before attending school. Then when the child eventually does go to college or university, the withdrawals are taxed in their name, which usually means little to no tax at all since most students have little to no income while they're studying. So in short, it is a government-backed savings plan that allows you to accumulate money tax-free and rewards you for doing so. Now, let's talk about the free money part, which gets everyone excited. The government literally gives you free money to help your kids save for school. There are 3 different ways to get it. The CESG, or the Canadian Education Savings Grant, is the main one. The government matches 20% of what you contribute each year, up to $500 per child per year. So if we work backwards, $500 divided by 20% equals $2,500 of contributions during the year to attain your maximum CESG for that year. So if you put in $2,500, the government adds $500 completely free. It's that simple. And they'll keep doing that until your child has received a lifetime maximum of $7,200 in grants. Now, there's no annual contribution room in the RESP. However, there is a lifetime maximum of $50,000 per child, which includes all accounts together. Now, here's the important part, the catch-up rule. You can catch up previous year's unused grants, but you can only catch up one previous year at a time. So that means in a single year, you can receive grants for the current year and one past year up to a total of $1,000 in CESG. For example, let's say you open the RESP when your child is 5 years old. You could contribute $5,000 for that year and get $1,000 in CESG, which is $500 for this year and $500 for the previous year. And then next year, you do it all over again, catching up for one more year at a time. $500 for that year and then $500 for a different previous year. And the following year, you'd be able to do it again. And the reason this works is because of a very important detail. Unlike in other registered accounts, your RESP doesn't have to be open for grant room to start accumulating. It begins the year that your child satisfies these 2 requirements. 1, becomes a resident of Canada, and 2, has a social insurance number. So even if you open that account later, all that unused grant room is still waiting for you. You just unlock it 1 year at a time. So yeah, that's literally free money sitting on the table waiting for you to go and claim it. If your household income is lower, you can qualify for even more free money. The additional CESG gives you another 10 to 20% match on the first $500 that you contribute each year. And then there's the Canada Learning Bond, or the CLB, available for eligible children from low-income families born in 2004 or later, and provides an initial payment of $500 for the first year the child is eligible, plus $100 for each additional year of eligibility up to the age of 15 for a maximum of $2,000. Personal contributions are not required to receive the CLB. So even if you're saving a lot, a little, or nothing at all in your RESP, that account can still work in your favor. Real quick, by the way, over 99% of you guys watching right now are still not subscribed. If you like this video or this type of content, then consider hitting the like and subscribe button. It would truly help me out. I would really appreciate it. Plus, it ensures that you won't miss out on one of my future uploads. So it's really a win-win for both of us. Without further ado, let's jump back in. So now let's talk about the tax advantage inside the RESP. Every dollar inside your RESP, so your contributions, the government grants, and the investment growth, it all grows tax-free. So you can and you should invest this money in diversified investments like ETFs, mutual funds, index funds, because the truth is markets have historically performed exceptionally well in the long term. And that's the key, in the long term. So if your child is over 10 years away from even going to school, it's an absolute no-brainer. The real power here is compounding. So over 10 to 15 or 18 years, your investment growth builds on itself without getting taxed every year like it would in a regular savings account. Then, like I said, when your child does go to school and they withdraw from the account, that income is taxed in their hands, which when they're going to school, they usually have little to no income at all, which means the tax portion will be little to basically nothing. So let's talk about what happens if your child just doesn't end up going to school. Now, the only way that you can keep the grants is if you transfer it to another RESP with a different beneficiary. That way, you keep all the contributions, the investment growth and grants with respect to the limits per beneficiary, completely tax-free, and there's no changes. Now, if you aren't transferring to a different RESP, well, the government's not just gonna let you keep the grants, right? Obviously, these grants were given to you in a way to incentivize you to contribute into the RESP, which the ultimate goal was to send a child to school. So if that's no longer the plan, they're going to ask for those grants back. You can't really be upset about that. But here's the good news. Your own contributions are always yours. You can take your contributions out at any time, tax-free. However, the growth portion, so the investment earnings, you're going to have two options. One, it can be transferred to your RRSP up to $50,000 as long as you have the contribution room available. Or two, if you're not transferring to your RRSP, well then the withdrawal of the investment earnings will be taxed at your income rate plus a small penalty. So even in the worst case scenario, you're not losing money. You're just not able to keep the government grants, which is totally understandable and completely fair. So here are tips on how to make the most of your RESP. Number one is start early. The earlier you start, the more years of compounding you get to work in your favor. And remember, you can open it as soon as your child has a social insurance number. Number two is contribute $2,500 per year. And that's how you get the full $500 in annual grant, if not more, depending on your income. Number three is invest it. Don't let your money just sit there. Use balanced investments like ETFs, mutual funds, index funds. If you don't know where to invest it, talk to your financial advisor. They will make you fill out an investor profile that will give you recommendations based on your needs. But remember, this money is likely going to be invested for over 10 years. And the markets have historically performed well in the long term. Money that is not invested just slowly loses value due to inflation. It's no different than keeping cash under your mattress. Number four is catch up if you've missed years. Remember, you can carry forward 1 year at a time of unused grant room. So even if you've opened the account late or you've started late, there's no worries. You can always catch up. So what are the key takeaways? Well, the RESP is one of the most underrated, underused, and misunderstood accounts in Canada. The government is willing to help you pay for your child's studies up to a certain amount as long as you take advantage of it. There's no going back and saying, oh, I didn't know this option was available. It's simple, powerful, and one of the easiest ways to turn consistent savings into a true head start for your kids. I break down Canadian finance in plain English so you can actually use these things in real life. So if you want to stay ahead, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. But that way, like I said, you won't miss any of my future uploads when they're posted. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.